morning, everyone. Happy Sunday. It's another episode of Mean 40s Sunday, where I talk about Korean skincare and the Korean dramas that I'm watching. Today, I wanted to share with you a cup of tea. This is my Earl Grey, and I've really grown to enjoy Earl Grey. I get it from a local company. This is Blue Mountain Tea Company in Collingwood, Ontario. They have a creamy Earl Grey, which tastes so great, and there's no artificial flavors. So I really, really love starting off a day with a good cup of Earl Grey. Sometimes I drink it in the evenings as well. So now I wanted to get into my skincare routine, but first I'm going to turn on the drama that I started watching. And a lot of you probably are watching the same one. It's called 39. And it's got a really good cast, starring Son Ye-jin from Crash Landing and her two best friends, as well as a pretty good male leading cast as well. Hi, Jart Cicapair, how are you? So right from the beginning, I love the intro and how they sort of make it look very retro and very nostalgic. So right off the bat, I knew I was going to enjoy this drama. In episode 1, there were so many notable scenes that really displayed the characters and how they were able to convey their emotions, and also the love that is expressed amongst different relationships was also really unique. So I really love this drama. I'm going to start off by using a toner pad. My skin today feels a bit irritated, so I use the Cica pad. COSrx has a really great one. And now that I'm testing out a new Calm line for irritated skin, this one is by P.Calm. It's another Korean brand. Maybe I'll give this one a try this morning since I am seeing how it feels on my skin. I've been using it for about a week. Actually, no, longer than a week. It's been about 3 weeks now. Wow, time flies. But I'm trying to grab toner pad, and I'm going to use the abrasive side first. Oh, I'm watching 39, which is the story about 3 girls in their late 30s and how they spend this is the first episode. And I wanted to give a bit of feedback on what I thought based on first few minutes of the first episode. So I love the intro, and I love how they're showing the 3 girls up front and in their daily activity. The main character, who's Mijo, she's narrating. That's Son Ye-jin's character. She's just narrating that in their late 30s. Just, I know, me too. Being in my 40s, I really can relate to the topics that they talk about, the thoughts on their minds, even how they interact with different generations. They show respect for the older generations, and then when they see like a younger sort of girl in her 20s, it looks like, when they went into the restaurant, I thought that was really interesting too. But there's this scene here where the guy, he's kind of like driving behind an elderly woman. And I don't know why I love this scene so much, but it just portrays the character so well and how he's a gentleman, and just his personality just came through that one scene for me. Okay, so after that, Ample. This is an interesting one for irritated skin. It's Propolis, and Propolis is a natural ingredient that is made by bees. So I take a huge amount of this because it's known to help heal irritated and wounded skin. It's not given as much hype as Snail, because Snail is known to do the same thing. But I just find that Propolis works equally well. And this particular product, it has 83% concentration of Propolis. So I'm going to do a really good amount on my acne. And I find that it does help to calm it down. It also soothes it, and it's not sticky. So I'll show you the texture. Like it's actually just the right amount of texture. So it's thick, but and then when you put it onto your skin, it absorbs really well. So it doesn't leave behind a residue, and it's very good to apply under the next steps of the skincare. So Propolis is one that I think would be a good one if you have sensitive skin, also if you have acne. My skin fluctuates, so this is the time where it does break out. So then I change my skincare, and that's the solution for acne. Okay, next is, this is a really big one. It's on social media all the time. And initially I found it to be really fascinating because it changes color as soon as you put it on your face. So this one, I want to take, can't seem to find a spatula. I'll just use the other end of the tweezer. And really, a little goes a long way. Just reading the comments. Yes, is he nearly perfect? I don't know, because I haven't gone far into this drama, but so far, based on what I've seen, like they really portray him to be like he's like running around with the kids here in this episode. And he's also cooking barbecue for them. So yes, so far so good as the leading male character. This one was really hard for me. I like the fact that it was a green repair solution, so it uses ingredients to really soothe and make sure that the redness gets calmed down. Yes, I will leave the description, also links in my chat. These are products that I've been using for a long time, so I can speak about them in a more detailed video. This one, there's so many TikToks, Snapchats about how this just changes color when you put it onto your skin. And that all of that is true. I find it very hard to handle though, because it can look a bit cakey if you don't spend the time to absorb it. And initially I was using my usual amount of generous portions for this, and that was a disaster because it takes forever for this to spread evenly across. So that's why I really had to tone down the quantity by just using not even a coin size. It would be like a barley size amount on your face, depending on how your skin feels. Because I put the propolis on underneath and it absorbed really well, this one is kind of sinking below the surface, but it still stays on my face. As you can, it's that almost pasty look, but I do find that it does calm down the skin. It must be the Cica and the Centella asiatica that's in the product. But for people who just can't be bothered to do all of this, I'm sure we can find another alternative for redness and irritation. So I find that I have to tug on my face a little bit more than usual. But this also has an SPF of 40. So that's why I like using it, because you can also get the sun protection automatically as well. So it's not green anymore. It's definitely blended into more of my skin tone. But I am pressing hard to make sure that it doesn't stay. Oh, yeah, I struggle with this one a bit. Even though I've been, let me see, I've been using this since last summer, so June of 2021. But to be honest, it's not my preferred product. So that's why there's still a good amount of quantity left in here. But maybe it just takes a little bit of practice. Okay. Where are we in this drama? So I love the flashbacks. There's a scene when they're showing how they used to go drinking in university. And then here's the famous scene with the peonies. For those of you who have watched this drama, you would have really liked the fact that she was just playing her natural self, and there was no attempt on her part to even make the scene romantic. So for me, I found that that was very endearing. Yes, the rosy cheeks. Sometimes it could be to your benefit, but I find that just evening it out, just for comfort too, because with the rosiness comes a certain level of itchiness, at least for me. So just to, make sure that my face isn't, I'm not scratching it, I'm not overly touching it. I find that I need to hydrate it even more when it's irritated. Some people, they just don't do anything. And that's not the answer for me, because if I just leave it as is, it tends to get flaky and it just feels really tight too. So just uncomfortable. So after I do this, I seal it in mist. I love the contents of this mist, but I don't like the spray. So I really want to kind of distribute this to another one, because the spray is very scary. It's just a splat. That splash actually hurts because the mist is so strong. It's a little too powerful for me. I know. So I was going to get to that scene, and I don't know if it's this episode, but there's a scene where she confronts, maybe it's the next episode, but I saw a preview of when Songjin confronts the, I guess, married man, so her best friend's boyfriend. And that was such a powerful scene. Like I saw it pop up on my YouTube and I had to watch it, where she finds out the bad news. And this drama is a bit unique in that it shows up front, it foreshadows someone's death. So usually dramas, they prolong it and it has you guessing, oh my gosh, is that person sick or what's happening? Or usually they slam you at the end. The ending usually involves a death of some sort. But this one, it tells you up front that the best friend, sadly enough, yeah, okay, next episode. Okay. So I'm a little apprehensive, like, should I continue with this drama? It just seems incredibly sad. Um, so I'm not sure if I'd be able to handle it, because it does remind me a lot. Oh, really? Only 12? So sunscreen, just extra precaution. It does remind me of so many of my friends that I grew up with, and I know everyone has their circle of friends that are near and dear to them, almost like siblings, like the way these three characters are. It just seems incredibly sad, like the events of what are to come, especially knowing that from the first scene. Ah, okay. Celebration of life. Okay, that's amazing to hear. So maybe it's encouragement for me to keep going. 2 layers of sunscreen. I may be overdoing the sunscreen, especially because it's snowing here in Canada. It's snowing, it's a bit gray and freezing. I know I anticipate that it will get really sad. Especially when the friends start finding out about the cancer, I think that will be some really tear-jerking moments. Okay, so that's it. Like, I really just use a few things to neutralize and calm. Oh, 38 degrees, I'm so jealous. that must be so nice. For the next steps, I'm going to use some clean beauty products. This is beautycounter, and it is naturally infused with jojoba beads. You can see a little bit of texture there. But when you put it on the face, the beads burst, and it just provides a nice underlying glow. So this is like a makeup primer, but it's very hydrating. And because it's a gel, it's actually very soothing too. The story of the relationships are so different, each of them. And right now they're just focusing on Chanyoungi and the married boyfriend. And I really was feeling impatient with the male partner being married and still not being able to make a decision. It's just that indecisiveness was initially very hard to watch. Maybe they'll show different sides of him as it progresses. Hopefully. And a little bit. I like Mijo's character. I find that she is very down to earth, but also ambitious. She just seems to be so multifaceted. So many sides to her that I find are very fitting, given that the actress is so versatile. True. Will it drag on? I'm not sure. Right now I'm on episode 2, and I went back to watch episode 1 in a little bit more detail, just because I think I missed the way that they set up a few of the characters, and I think the first episode is so important. This one caught my attention very early. I just love these stories. Without it being too much like Sex and the City, it just seems to take on a tone of its own. Like, very touching. As I was watching Sex and the City, I found that my favorite parts were the endings, where Sarah Jessica Parker reflects on what happens, and she would say a few sentiments about how it relates to the broader picture of life. So I kind of like those kinds of insights on friendships, relationships, and this one, I think the whole drama seems to be like that. Some days the skincare goes on really nicely. Other days you really have to kind of struggle, and sometimes you're not happy with the results. And I think that day is today for me, where my skin initially felt dry, itchy, and tight. And then now that I've put on the skincare, it does feel a lot better, a lot more elastic, but I'm not happy with the look. Yeah. Yes. Realistic, and also just the emotions are a bit different. 39 does not seem like a light drama to me. I think you could just kind of dive into it, feel the emotions as they are displaying them. Oh, I love this scene. Like the twist of when she's waiting at the restaurant for the picture. The lighting could be a lot better on my end, but I love these two parallel dinner scenes where Chanyoungi meets her boyfriend on the rooftop and they talk about their future or lack of future, and then the other dinner scene where Mijo is waiting for her associate doctor to come and talk business. So I just love how they do the back and forth, and how one end it's like the start of something new to come, and the other they're kind of deciding on how to end it or whether to end it. And just like I kind of geek out on scenes like this, like how they shoot certain angles and how they show close-ups of people's faces, the dialogue. I love all of that about Korean dramas. I think that they put a lot of thought into building up the storyline and also showing different characters. And sometimes the subplots can be just as good as the main plot. So many dramas like that. So let me know in the chat what else you're watching. Is there something else that's worthy of your time that you would recommend? Hello, Kayla. How are you? I was just finishing up my skincare routine. Now that the weather's changing, my skin is acting up. It's also a bad time for me, for my skin. there's a lot of flare-ups, itchiness. So I used a variety of different products. Like I used the toner pad. So I used a P.Calm Toner pad, and then I used like Propolis, which is a really great ingredient. And then this one here kind of caused me to go on a different path today. It was so hard to apply for some reason. And then a mist from Pyunkang Yul, which is so good. Just talking about what we're watching. So Love and Forecast. That has a promising cast, doesn't it? I thought it was really popular, but maybe the storyline isn't as good as expected. I didn't start it. There's so many dramas that are starting this month. Like there's Our Blues, there's Tomorrow. I saw that pop up on Netflix. What else is there? There's so many new ones that are coming out. I just can't keep up. So Love and Forecast keeps dropping down further down on my list. Like I think I want to stick with 39, even though it's going to be sad. I know, so excited for that one. This is a really, really, like I watched this scene multiple times where they encounter each other and they realize, oh shoot, they have much more fate in store for them. Yes, okay, good to know. So maybe I will wait a bit, and when there's a lull period, if that ever comes, of Korean dramas, and maybe I could use that to kind of fill my time later on. But maybe that's something that can wait. Yes. No one is. That's Tomorrow, right? The Grim Reaper one with Kim Hee-sun, who is an actress that I love. So I'm just gonna finish off with my eyebrows, and we can keep talking about what's upcoming to watch. I've really gotten into Love, Marriage, and Divorce. That's not a popular one. My Korean drama chat group isn't really talking about that one, but I've followed it all the way up to the 3rd season now. So if that's one that you're contemplating about, I would really encourage you to give that one a try. You have to really appreciate the characters for who they are and the different storylines. It's one where they show different perspectives. So the same scene, but from like his view and her view. And I just love stuff like that because situations so differently. And that's one of the reasons why that drama had me hooked. Love, Marriage, and Divorce. I know she is. There's something that she's doing that's working for her. She gets more and more lovable over time. I think her acting has certainly improved as well. Like I've started watching her from her earlier dramas, and she was a pretty face, very, very noticeable, but now she's got so much character. Oh, I do. All-time favorite drama. There's so many. Like I really like. Speaking of Kimi-san, I really loved Lady in Dignity. I thought that was such a good mood booster, but at the same time, it gave you a lot of thought. It was thought provoking. So, that's not a Netflix one, but you're able to find it. It's a bit dated as well. I also love Mr. Sunshine. Complete switch of genre, whereas like a historical. Little bit of romance, but I think the romance there was a little different. It's very traditional. So Mr. Sunshine was one that really got me into the Netflix Korean drama scene, where I started off with that one. And it took me a while. I watched the first 2 episodes. I couldn't get into it. And then when I tried it again, I was like fully in. Mr. Sunshine was another one of my favorites. What are some of your all-time favorite dramas? Like not even current, like it can be the ones that stick with you over time. Something in the Rain was good. I don't know, how are you finding the pace? Do you find that it's kind of slow, or are you liking it? Because there's other ones. There's One Spring Day, which is very similar to Something in the Rain, just like the mood and the way that the actors are kind of portrayed. I thought that was very, like, if you like Something in the Rain, you might like One Spring Day. Very, very unforgettable. So there are so many. I think it's a really exciting month for Korean dramas. So we can come back next Sunday and talk about any new ones. Maybe by then you would have watched tomorrow. I like to keep the episodes building up. So there's a good amount for me to just watch one after the other because I hate waiting week after week for the next one. So for tomorrow, for Our Blues, and also for Love and Forecast, I might just allow it to just finish and then start it. Ah, and that explains it. Same director. I wonder if it's the same writer as well, because just the dialogue I found was very thoughtful in both. And the acting was, again, so phenomenal. So, yeah, speaking of that actor, Prison Playbook. Um, my sister was not able to get into Prison Playbook, but I found it so humorous. And that also stars Chung. He comes in kind of midway into that drama. And my friends who don't speak Korean, like I thought some of the humor would have gotten lost, but they understood it and they found it to be really, really amusing. So the translation, it worked out really well in that drama. Oh, cool, cool. I'm very sensitive to OSTs. If it's a good song, you know it's going to get played over and over in the dramas. So um, the soundtrack is something that I also look up separately and then I listen to it on the side. Like I just get really, really into some of these. Mm, nice, nice. He's a bit younger, isn't he? Like I only started watching him from Something in the Rain. I didn't see any of his earlier works. Ah, yes. Thank you so much. Thank you for tuning in. So I think that's all I want to do in terms of skincare. I want to let my skin rest. And then I'm going to continue on. Reply, yes, 88 was my all time favorite. I couldn't really get into 94 or 97. I didn't even start. Maybe 97 is one that I could watch over the summer. Um, yeah, so I think we're all the same. We're the same group of people here, just enthusiastic about the same things, which is amazing. I'm glad that we're all connected and we all met. So I'm going to get on with our day. We can continue this chat um, for a long time, and I think I won't run out of episodes to talk about as I put on my skincare. I'm going to start episode 2 of 39 and then move on to keep watching 2521. I think that's another one. Oh, I haven't seen Goblin. Maybe that's a good one for me to watch. There are so many scenes that are shot in Quebec in Canada, and after that drama, I saw a lot of YouTube videos of people coming to that site and filming the same action that the actress was putting the envelope in that mail slot. I don't know if people understand what I'm talking about, but I think that that is, yes, there's more to come for sure. So that has something to say about that drama Goblin. Yuina is one of my favorite actresses. I think she's very versatile as well. So maybe I'll give that one a try. I don't think it's on Netflix, but I'll see how I can get my hands on Goblin. Iconic. So it is a must watch then. So give that one a try. And I'll talk to my drama group as well. My drama group consists of all females who are into skincare, but also into Korean dramas. And I don't know how they fly through the episodes because they have to read the subtitles. Oftentimes I leave it on in the background. And they have explained to me there's something about Korean dramas that just speaks universally. And they think it's the way that different storylines are portrayed. Like love can be shown in different ways. It's not just the stereotypical romance. And they also really love the actors and actresses. Oh, so good to connect. I'm loving these Sundays. I find Sundays one of my favorite days of the week, and this is just another good way to spend. So thank you for tuning in, and I hope that you have started your skincare routine for today. If not, don't forget to include it and have a great day, everyone. I'll see you again next Sunday.